I'm afraid you're just too darn loud.
Hey, you guys want to see my video?
Hello everyone. Today we are going to be talking about how calculus is used in the real world. Many people don't know this, or know it, but don't want to admit it, but calculus is actually used in the real world. Super cool, right? Anyway, there's lots of different uses for it. But first, a quick history lesson. These two dudes here are Newton and Leibniz, so if you ever find yourself wondering who to blame for all your math torture, there you go. But Newton was like, hey, right now there's not really a way to find areas under curves, and there's lots of cool things we can do with mathematical functions. We should figure out a way to do that. And Leibniz was like, sounds dope. So they thought about it and invented calculus. But at the time it seemed a bit strange, because the word calculus referred to any kind of mathematics, but eventually it just referred to this newfangled kind of math. Calculus not only became a nifty tool to torture STEM majors into insanity, it also became a cool tool for real world applications. For example, the magic of calculus is used to predict the weather. So for those of you who live in Alabama and survive all those Cat 5 tornadoes, because you knew when they were coming, thank calculus for that. Also, not surprisingly, calculus is used in aerospace. For example, in order to find orbital trajectories, you need to know calculus in order to get your escape orbit just right so you don't get hurled into the darkness of space. Even though computers do a lot of this now, back during the moon landings, most of these calculations had to be done by hand. And if you think having a passing grade makes you worried, imagine a person strapped to a rocket that you did that math for in order to get them home. Calculus is also used in architecture. If it weren't for calculus, a lot of buildings would be falling down and causing all kinds of problems. But thanks to the magic of calculus, you can rest assured that you're not about to get crushed by your own house. Also, fun fact, calculus is being used right now in the corona pandemic. Calculus allows researchers to find out how fast the virus spreads and how to stop or slow it down. Calculus is also used in search engines to figure out what ads to sell you. So every time you think about your friendly FBI agent who's watching your Google searches, he's probably doing it with the help of calculus. Thanks calculus. Calculus is used in economics. Calculus is used to measure the stock market and is also used in banking. Even though a lot of this is done through computers, it is still an example of how it is used in the real world. Also, fun fact, calculus is used in music as well. These two guys made a whole music video talking about calculus and how amazing and difficult it is. Math is also used in memes and entertainment. There are so many good math memes to choose from, it is honestly overwhelming. One thing that I found interesting while trying to find information for this project was math is actually used in driving. When we are trying to figure out how fast or slow we need to go without running into the car in front of you or killing an innocent pedestrian, you're doing a small bit of calculus without realizing it. Probably the most important use of calculus in the real world is Marty Kellum uses it. This man is a freaking legend and grades all our homework and does it all using calculus. And yes, he actually is a math wizard, and if anyone here think he's not, I'm gonna tell him. Calculus is also used in video games. It's used to figure out how to make rigid body items. For those of you who don't know what a rigid body item is, it's any item that you can just yeet across the map. They use calculus to figure out how far it yeets and makes objects feel more real. Now if you're anything like me, this doesn't mean that playing a video game is learning calculus. I wish it were, but sadly this is the real world, and it's 2020. I know this might be a little off subject, but I learned that the field that I'm going into actually uses calculus. I never actually got why I needed to take calculus, because I'm going into computer engineering. But it turns out calculus is extremely useful for computers. For example, if I'm building a GPU, which is a graphics processing unit for a computer, I need to use calculus to figure out how fast or how slow the fans need to rotate based on how hot or cold the GPU is. Not saying that I'm going to be working on GPUs, but it's definitely a use for it that I might come across. Unfortunately, I have reached the end of my video. I hope that this was both an educational and mind-numbing experience. I hope that your IQ level did not decrease significantly after watching this video. If you liked this video, be sure to let me know, because I wanted this video to be really fun and enjoyable. And now for some super cool end credits.
This is pretty much the worst video ever made.
Napoleon, like anyone can even know that.
You know what, Napoleon? You can leave.
Is this XT fine? Is F continuous? How do you find out? You can use the limit process. Approach from both sides, the left and the right, and meet. I'm just a limit. Find analytic functions continuous. There's no holes, no sharp points or asymptotes. Any way this graph goes, it is differentiable for me. For me. All year in calculus, we've learned so many things about which we are gonna sing. We can find derivatives and integrals, and the area enclosed between two curves. What prime?
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.